Let me think. I know I'm the person standing between you and the reason you all came here. So I know my role is to be quick and precise. 6 days to go. Man, 6 more days. By the way, this is the 6th recall effort since I became governor just 2.5 years ago. You can't even make that up. Isn't that amazing? 6th recall effort in just 2.5 years. This one, by the way, predates the pandemic. I hope you all remember this. The guy who is behind this recall, the CEO of this recall, was asked to clarify a position because we really wanted to understand what this was really about. And so we asked him, we said, sir, you made some statements that seemed a little bit, racist. You made some statements that were, not just anti-immigrant, but they were dehumanizing. You actually suggested that you believe that we should microchip all immigrants in the state of California. That's the CEO of this recall. The guy you see up on TV, the person that appears in your ballot book, he said, we want to microchip all immigrants. He says, because it works. And we said, no, hold on. And I want to be fair. I don't want anyone to accuse me of hyperbole. He says it works. He knows it works. Just, quote unquote, ask animal control. You can't make that up. I say all that to make this point. I'm in San Leandro, one of the most diverse cities and one of the most diverse counties and one of the most diverse regions, the San Francisco Bay Area, in the most diverse state in the world's most diverse democracy. And I'm honored and proud to be here. Diversity is our strength. We don't tolerate diversity, we celebrate diversity. Diversity's on the ballot, folks. It's a point of pride to be California governor. Live in a majority-minority state, a state of refuge, including Afghan refugees. A universal state. It's a point of pride. Where America's coming attracts, and the future happens here first. What a remarkable and extraordinary place, the great state of California. And in the next 6 days, we get to decide the fate and future of not only our home state, but the home to 40 million Americans, the 5th largest economy in the world. The fate and future is in your hand. In the next 6 days, we have to turn out the vote and vote no on this Republican recall. Man. Now I know, because Labor's in the House. I know you know a thing or two about getting out the vote. But now I'm going to ask you this. It's not just getting out the vote, it's turning in the vote by turning in these ballots. 22 million ballots dropped. And all mail-in elections. See, in California, we make it easier to vote because we believe in the right to vote. You can't even believe I have to say that. Isn't it amazing? We're living in a moment in time where we're debating democracy. We're actually literally debating democracy in this country. The big lie, the insurrection on January 6th, all the voter suppression bills you're seeing in red states all across this country, and the whole idea that a constitutional right, the right to choice, the right to reproductive freedom, the rights of women now are under assault. What a remarkable moment it is in American history. But we have a chance and an opportunity to make history of our own here in the state of California by rejecting that cynicism, rejecting that fear, by rejecting that kind of divisiveness. California, we are better than that. We have the opportunity by voting no on this recall. We're better than that. We're better than that. Now, you know what happens if we don't vote no on this recall, don't you? I mean, this isn't even close. On the other side of this recall, if we're not successful in rejecting this recall, Larry Elder is going to be sworn in as your next governor. want to sound like Obama, say, don't boo, vote. But Larry Elder's running away with it, guys. It's just a matter of weeks. The only thing stopping that from happening is each and every one of you. In a matter of weeks, Larry Elder can be sworn as the next governor. I want you to know a little bit about him. And the vice president, I know she's here. I want her to know a little bit more about him. And she knows plenty about him. You'll hear that in a moment. But I want folks to understand really what the stakes are. Here we are in a moment in our history. Not only are we debating democracy, where you have these guys like Tucker Carlson going over Hungary, celebrating autocrats. You have these news magazines, Newsmax or One American, all these networks, this echo chamber in this country, trying to dismantle what we hold dear. But we're also at a time in this country where we, on two coasts in America, you have folks that drown in their cars on the East Coast, and you have folks quite literally trying to get in their car to escape wildfires here on the West Coast. The extreme weather we're experiencing, the likes of which we've never experienced in our lifetime. And we've got someone by the name of Larry Elder that believes climate change is a myth, believes it's a crock, and believes the answer to climate change is increasing offshore oil drilling. That's his solution. Someone that doesn't even believe in the Clean Air Act. That's Larry Elder. Someone that celebrates what just happened to women in Texas and is celebrating the prospect of overturning Roe v. Wade. And speaking of women, let's talk about Larry Elder's points of view. He doesn't believe there's a glass ceiling. Tell that to Kamala Harris, who did shatter the glass ceiling for Vice President of the United States. One easy to do. Doesn't believe in pay equity laws. Believes that employers, listen to this, actually said this. He believes employers have the right to discriminate against employees, or at least women, by asking them about their reproductive future because, quote unquote, they're just protecting an investment. Doesn't believe in paid maternity leave. Actually doesn't even believe women are as smart as men. Did you watch Kamala Harris, Senator Harris, cross-examine Bill Barr? I mean, he's still trying to figure out what the hell happened to him. Women aren't as smart as men, she says, in civics, and economics, and politics. That's what we're up against, California. You can't make this stuff up. Doesn't believe in an assault weapons ban. Doesn't even believe tobacco should be regulated. Got in a debate about tobacco, you can't, I mean, I'm just telling you it straight. Got into debate about a tobacco tax and conceded the fact that maybe tobacco does take lives, but he said, you know what, that's probably a good thing because it will reduce health care costs for all those that die. Someone that wants to privatize Social Security, privatize Medicare, doesn't believe in Obamacare, doesn't support the rights of folks against pre-existing discrimination, pre-existing conditions, doesn't believe fundamentally in a living wage, let alone a minimum wage. The fight for 15, he doesn't even believe in 15 cents. Wants to reject the minimum wage. Said that food stamps are a giveaway, as he wants to eliminate the corporate tax. That's what we're up against. What kind of judges would Larry Elder appoint as governor of California? Who would he have appointed 10 months ago to replace Kamala Harris when she became vice president? What would that have done in Washington, D.C. today? Would there have been that last stimulus? Would there be Majority Leader Chuck Schumer? Think of the consequences. California, that's what's at stake in September 14th. Just a matter of days. You have the opportunity to determine the fate and future of this state, and I would argue impact the fate and future of the United States of America. This is a consequential election. And I know Barbara Lee said it. We all told you, well, this is the most important election 2020, right? It was getting rid of Trump. And that was absolutely true. And you did that by getting rid of Donald Trump in November 2020. But Trumpism's still alive. Trumpism's not dead. It's alive in the big lie, the insurrection. That's the reality. And this is our moment to step up and step into that void and reject what's going on across this country. Because in California, we're America fast forward. We are a point of pride. This is not only the fifth largest economy in the world, there's no Western democracy on the planet that's growing faster over the last 5 years than the state of California. We're the tentpole in American job recovery. $80 billion operating surplus, Californians. Eat your heart out, Texas and Florida. We have better health outcomes and better economic outcomes during this pandemic. Larry Elder wants to walk us on that same COVID cliff as Texas and Florida and Tennessee and Alabama and Georgia. He said, and I quote, this is his go-to. Every single day, this is his go-to. He wants to get the crowd all riled up. This is what he says. He said the first thing he'll do after he gets sworn in, he said the first thing he'll do before his first cup of tea is he will sign an executive order eliminating mask wearing for our kids in public schools and eliminating vaccine verification for healthcare workers. Consider the consequences of that. Look what's going on across this country. Look at states that don't believe in science. That are not. I mean, look at what's happening in this country. Not just the public health. Look how it's impacting our economic recovery. This is consequential. We said, I know there was an ad, people said it's a little hyperbolic, but I don't think it was, saying this election is a choice about life and death. It's true. California has among the lowest case rates in America and among the highest vaccination rates in America because we believe in science, we believe in public health. We're not ideological, we're open to argument, interested in evidence. It's working, California. All of that's on the ballot. All of that is on the ballot in the next week. And so I want to just thank each and every one of you for everything you've done today. And I want to thank you for being here today. But more importantly, I want to thank you for the work that you'll be doing over the next 6 days. I want to thank you for knocking on doors. I want to thank you for text messaging, folks. I want to thank you for the emails you're going to send out. I want to thank you for all the phone calls and voicemails you're going to leave. I want to thank you for not leaving anything out on the field because we're organizing the largest field campaign in California history because of your support, because of your advocacy, because my name may appear on the ballot, but we're all on the ballot. Our principles, our values are on the ballot. Racial justice is on the ballot. Social justice is on the ballot. Economic justice is on the ballot. Environmental justice is on the ballot. California, this race matters. And I am proud now to introduce to you my friend, your friend, someone you all know well, your hometown hero, the Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris.
Flying in, landed in Oakland, flying over the Bay. Bay Area. It's good to be home. So I landed about just a short time ago, and I'm here for one purpose. I came home for one purpose. I always want to come home, but it was really important to me to come home today, to stand and speak in support of my dear friend, my long-standing friend, a great Californian leader, a great American leader, Governor Gavin Newsom. And I'm about to talk about Gavin in front of his face. But you know, Gavin, you were I was watching backstage and you mentioned Texas. Just one thing about Texas. So when I was leaving this morning, I was watching the morning news this early, I left DC, and they had this clip of the governor of Texas. And the words that he spoke were the words that were to arrogantly dismiss concerns about rape survivors and to speak those words that were empty words, that were false words, that were fueled with not only arrogance but bravado. That is not who we want in our leaders. We want in our leaders someone like Gavin Newsom who always speaks the truth on behalf of all the people in a way that is about uplifting, that isn't about helping to understand the plight of working people, to understand the dignity of all people. And that's who Gavin is. And guys, I've known him a long time. One of the things I know about Gavin Newsom, he never hears no, it's not possible, it can't be done. Gavin doesn't hear that. And I've witnessed that. You know, I was elected DA when he was elected mayor of San Francisco. And I heard him talk about this, right? The marriages. That Valentine's weekend in 2004. Gavin didn't hear, it can't be done. He had the courage, as he has had his entire career, to believe in and know what is possible. An ability to see what can be, unburdened by what has been. That's the kind of leadership this daughter and we as Californians and daughter of California wants. We want our leaders in California to have a vision of what is possible, to see the opportunity of a moment to inspire and uplift all people. That's what the people of California have always wanted, and that's why the Republicans' recall will fail. And it is so good to be in the House of Labor. It is so good to be in the House of Labor. And let me tell you something. I am clear. I know Gavin is clear. It is the men and women of labor, the working people of our unions, the working people of California who are going to show what kind of leadership they want and are going to walk their talk and make sure that this political game of this recall is defeated. And let's look at what Gavin has accomplished. You know, he and I were talking backstage. He came in office after Jerry, and he came in with so much in terms of what he was giving to our state. And then things out of our control, any of our control, started to happen. But Gavin rose to the moment. Let's be clear, on the issue of COVID, in this state, with the largest population of any state in the country, I've been traveling around the world, larger than many countries. And Gavin stepped up to the moment. Over 22 million Californians have been vaccinated because of the programs that he led and put in place. Because he was not afraid. He didn't say this problem is too big for me. He didn't say my state is too big for me. No. And he led with courage. And I want us to remember those early days. Let's remember the course of it. We were all scared. We didn't know what was happening. But we needed leaders to have courage to take a stand and make decisions. If a decision is coming to a governor in a state of tens of thousands of employees, it's because nobody else could make the decision except the governor. It's because it took one person, who is Gavin Newsom, to make hard decisions in a moment of crisis that was unpredictable. And he led. He led in saying, I understand the plight of working people. And so I'm going to make sure that in the state of California, we have workers' comp for people who caught COVID on the job, because there is no reason that working people should have to lose their benefits in a moment of personal crisis like that. Gavin Newsom said we're going to have to pay family leave because, as Jennifer said, Gavin has always understood that if you want to lift up America, you've got to lift up working people. Understand that unions are going to be a big part of that, and women are going to be a very big part of that. This is the kind of leader we have had in Gavin Newsom. And you have to understand that this recall campaign is about California, and it's about a whole lot more. They're thinking that if they can get this done in California, they can go around the country and do this. You got to understand what's happening right now. What's happening in Texas, what's happening in Georgia, what's happening around our country with these policies that are about attacking women's rights, reproductive rights, voting rights, workers' rights. They think if they can win in California, they can do this anywhere. Well, we will show them you're not going to get this done. Not here, never. So this election, guys, it's not a one-off. We need everyone to vote no. I voted no. Doug, my husband, the second gentleman, voted no on his ballot. We mailed it in. And we got to get this done. We've got 6 days. It's a week from yesterday, so next Tuesday, the 14th. But let's understand, we're not only going to be doing the work of putting Gavin Newsom in exactly where we want him to be, which is as governor of California, to lead as he's been leading, but we are also in this election making a statement about who we are as a nation. Because understand, if having a governor who is for workers' rights and labor unions weren't a problem for them, they wouldn't be trying to recall him. They wouldn't be trying to recall him, but for the fact that he has always stood for reproductive rights. They wouldn't be trying to recall him, except they know he stands for our dreamers and our farm workers. They wouldn't be trying to recall him, except that he says that access to health care is right and not a privilege of just those who can afford it. These are the issues that are at play. They wouldn't be trying to recall him, except that they know he is a national leader on one of the greatest threats to our democracy right now, which is these blatant attacks on voting rights. This is what's going on right now. This is what's going on right now. This is why they are putting so many resources and time into trying to take out Gavin Newsom. It is because of his vision. It is because of the agenda. It is because of who he fights for. And so we are here to say today, we fight for Gavin Newsom. We fight for our country. We fight for the values we hold dear. We fight for working people. We fight for organized labor. We fight for dreamers. We fight for women. We fight for voting rights. And we stand as Democrats saying we are proud to do all of that and more. So that's what we stand for in California. to the world that these are the things we stand for, these are the things we fight for, and we will not give up because we know that so much is at stake. So many are counting on us, and there is so much good that we can do. Thank you.